Now available for the first time in paperback. Stop Simping in the Workplace. Men, learn what you need to know in order to protect your job from workplace predators with Stop Simping in the Workplace. Available in paperback at online booksellers everywhere. I was on Facebook yesterday and I was watching a video posted by Stoneman Douglas massacre mass shooter Nikolas Cruz. And in this video, which was made before Nikolas Cruz participated in the massacre at Stoneman Douglas High School, he explained his reasons for going out here and murdering 17 of his classmates. And as I listened to him talk in the video, he proved many of the points I talked about in many of my numerous videos where I talked about these beta male mass shooters. Now, Nikolas Cruz himself said that the reason why he went out here to participate in this massacre at Stoneman Douglas High School was because he felt like he had no value to society. And because he felt like he had no value to society, he decided to go out here and destroy the world around him. Now, when it comes down to these beta males, this is one of their primary motivations for going out here and participating in these mass shootings. Because the beta male, in most cases, does not know how to navigate the world like a man. Because in most cases, your beta male, because he is raised primarily by females, is used to having a smooth world. And in the smooth world, they can have no problems, no conflicts, and no obstacles. Now, when I take a look at Nikolas Cruz's background, he was primarily raised by his single mother. And his single mother, from the looks of things, was buying him everything he wanted, giving him everything he wanted. And now he had to go out and deal with the fact that she had not only passed away, but he had to navigate the world on his own. This is where your Nikolas Cruz was starting to have these problems with, like many of the other mass shooters I have noticed. Many of these guys have a hard time navigating a course in the world as a man, because in many cases they have been either coddled by their single mothers or their beta male fathers, and because those people went out of their way to give them what they wanted, they don't know how to go out and get what they want on their own, or how to deal with the world in the way men deal with the world. And that's what I saw as I was watching Nikolas Cruz's video, and that's also what I saw when I was watching Elliot Rodgers' video. Now, in each of the videos that I watched, I started to see, again, the pattern emerging regarding the behavior of these mass shooters. And when it comes down to these mass shooters, again, they want to go out here and destroy the world around them because they feel like they have no value as a man in the world. They do not know how to navigate the world like the way a man should know how to navigate the world. And they feel like they have no sense of worth to the world. They feel like they cannot contribute to the world. So because they feel like they cannot offer anything to the world, or what they have to offer is being rejected, what they do is they now plot a course to destroy the world around them. And the way they want to destroy the world around them is in a way that gets them the most attention. And the way they believe they get the most attention is by going out here to participate in these mass shootings. Now, when it comes down to these mass murderers, again, there's clearly a pattern to their behavior, and there is clearly a profile regarding these mass shooters. Unfortunately, when it comes down to most Americans are still caught up in their emotions that they don't want to take a look critically at the pattern that is emerging regarding the home environments of most of these mass shooters, nor do they want to take a critical look at the pattern regarding the motivations for participating in these mass shootings. And the reason why most Americans don't want to look at the pattern or the profile regarding these mass shooters is primarily because that pattern and profile points a finger directly at the American woman. And when it comes down to the American woman in this gynocentric society, most people don't want to point a finger at her or hold her accountable for things, because in America, most women control the largest voting bloc here in America, and most women control the economy. And to point a finger directly at women regarding the way boys have been raised in this country would literally bring the country into an uproar. And making efforts to change things where women are taken out of the economy and back into the home where they could raise these children, that would upend the economy for many of these corporate businesses who have gone out of their way to hire most of these American women. And they don't want to make any efforts to change anything. And because they don't want to change anything regarding the American woman, that is why things are going to get worse instead of better regarding these mass shooters. Because most of these mass shooters, they are coming out of homes where they are not getting their emotional needs met by their mothers, and there is no father in the home to teach these boys about how to be a man from a man's perspective. Instead, in these homes, these boys are being emotionally neglected, and they are learning how to be a man from a woman's perspective, a perspective that is skewed because the woman is looking at the man from the outside looking in. Because only a man can teach a boy to be a man, and only a man knows the life skills that a boy needs to survive as a man. And most boys have not been getting those life skills for 50 years because many of the feminists told us back in the 1960s and the 1970s that a woman could raise a boy to be a man on her own, and that a woman did not need a man in her life in order to raise a boy to be a man. But over the last 50 to 60 years, we clearly see from the increasing trend of malfunctioning, dysfunctional, and maladjusted boys who grow up to become malfunctioning, dysfunctional, and maladjusted men, that we clearly do need a man to be in a boy's life in order for that boy to be raised to be healthy and functional. And it takes a father to be in the home in order to raise the kind of boy who will be able to go out here and function, a boy who will be able to navigate a course in life, a boy who will be able to understand that he has to have a disciplined character and resolve, and that a boy that will have to understand that he is the only one who will be able to meet his own needs with God's help. But many of these boys aren't getting these lessons because when it comes down to America, we have 1 in 3 boys growing up without a father these days, and that number is increasing here in America. In fact, in the black community, 70% of boys grow up without fathers. And when it comes down to boys growing up without fathers, this is why we are having so many problems with men today, because most of these men did not learn how to become men from men. They learned how to become men from women. And that's why we have a man crisis going on. And the mass shooters are just a symptom of the man crisis no one in America wants to talk about. And the reason why no one in America really wants to talk about the man crisis here in America is because when we have to take a critical look at that man crisis, again, it points a finger at the American woman. And that finger pointing at that woman is trying to hold her accountable for the dysfunctional way she has raised boys over the last 50 years. But because corporate America needs women to work at its companies and be consumers of its products, and corporate America needs the money of those women to continue to flow, we will not really see anybody focus on building a constructive solution towards dealing with this whole issue of mass shooters. Because again, pointing the finger at the female and holding the female accountable is not something American men do in gynocentric America. No, in gynocentric America, most Americans, what they do is deflect and say that it's a gun control issue. But when I take a look at the videos of people like Nikolas Cruz and Elliot Rodger, and they explain their motivations for going out here and participating in these mass shootings, I clearly see a pattern and profile emerging regarding their behavior, and that pattern and profile points to the way these boys were raised, and that pattern and profile shows me that these boys never learned how to become men from actual men, and they never learned the life skills that they needed to survive, And because they never learned the life skills they needed to survive in the world, they learned these female traits, and these female traits just don't work for men because the world works differently for women than it does for men. And these guys who go out here with these female traits, they expect the world to cater to them, not knowing that a man has to go out and get something for himself if he hopes to accomplish something in life. The women, on the other hand, all they have to do is look pretty, and they expect people to just go to them. But what they don't understand is that it takes a man to go out here and give them what they want. And if that man doesn't give them what they want, they won't get what they need. And then what happens with these boys is they learn this culture and they expect the women to go out and give them what they want. And it doesn't work that way. And that's why a lot of them wind up frustrated, angry, and falling apart because they're expecting the world to do for them what it does for women, but they don't understand that the man has to go out and do for self and get for self because that's the way the world works. And when I take a look at Nikolas Cruz's video, again, he confirms many of the points I have made in numerous videos, and these points are pretty much irrefutable because here you have the mass shooters themselves saying that these are the reasons why they participate in these mass shootings. Unfortunately, so many people are too busy trying to protect women and deflect that we're not hearing the reasons why these men are saying they're going out to destroy the world. Because the reason why they want to destroy the world around them is because they see no value to themselves as a man, because they have never been taught a value as a man by other men, and they haven't been taught to see a worth for themselves regarding the world as a man. And this is why many of these, we're going to have many more of these mass shootings, because we're not dealing with the real serious reason why we have all these mass shooters. Because when you take a look at the pattern, 28 of 29 mass shooters came from single mother households. And the reason why we're continuing to see an escalation and increase in mass shootings is because we have an increase in single mother households and boys being raised in a gynocentric way. And that gynocentric way that boys are being raised is not teaching them how to be healthy and functional men. If you'd like to pick up some of my men's issues books, like the Simp series and on Amazon.com, you may do so by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to help me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.